And so thank you all so much for coming today. As you know, my name is Jenny Trumpa. I'm a master trainer with Beachbody Live, and I teach formats, Turbo Kick, Plyo, Insanity. Well, I teach all of them, but Present Size as well as Country Heat. And this group that we have, the Instructor Network, we have been getting a lot of questions from people about how to start up your own fit class outside of the gym. And, you know, there's just been a lot of questions that have come around that, like, do I need liability insurance? How much would I charge? You know, just a lot of those types of questions. And so somebody that has done this and been very, very successful at it is Cesar. And so I asked him if he would collaborate with me today and just answer a lot of the questions that you all have had. And he agreed. He said, yeah, of course. And so I'm super excited to hear from him as well, because I know that I've seen him build his fit classes from just a couple of people to, you know, a multitude of people now. And he's been very consistent at it, and he's really developed an entire community of people around it and an entire brand around it as well. And so he is, I feel, the perfect person to ask all of these questions to and to hear expertise on the subject. So Cesar is a 1-star qualifying diamond also with Beachbody, Team Beachbody. And so he's going to talk just a little bit as well about, you know, how that has played a role into his Team Beachbody business as well. So Cesar, would you, go ahead and share your story with us?
All right, what's up, everybody? Thanks, Jenny. I started, you know, just an average dude wanting to get results, and I picked up Insanity so I can train for my first marathon. And I just became a fan of Shaun T and everything, and it progressed from there. Insanity, Asylum, Marathon, and the certification came out, and I was already a Beachbody coach. Just to back up, though, I was doing my Insanity workouts at the park and inviting people to join me, and no one came, except for like my wife and my kids. And as soon as I got certified, that's when people started to come. So I guess it brought a little legitimacy to me.
So what oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I started out no group instructor experience, just wanted to share my love.
Awesome. And so that was is that kind of what inspired you to start? Was that you were just passionate about sharing with other people what you were doing because you knew that it worked, and you were already going to the gym already, or not, sorry, the gym, but the parks already and doing the workouts. And so you just started sharing what you were doing authentically with others and inviting them to come.
Exactly.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about like how you got official permission, or how you decide, or how did you choose your location, and did you need to get permission for it? Can you talk a little bit about that?
All right. So it was a real headache, but I was, you know, so determined because I wanted to do this thing. I didn't care about the bumps in the road. So I knew that venues were really hard to book. And because I didn't have the group fitness background, I wasn't in with the big box gyms. And so I just figured, why don't I just invite my friends to the park and work out with me? And then because I'm on social media, I always put my workouts on blast. So it kind of grew word of mouth that way. But I sort of experimented at first.
Sorry. Whoever just joined on the phone, could you put your line on mute? Because we can kind of hear the background noise. I don't know how to put phones on mute though.
Okay.
Whoever's here on the phone, could you just go ahead and mute yourself? It's a 949 number.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Let me just try it. I don't know how to do it.
I think if you just, it'll have on the screen, it'll have like a mute your line. Go ahead, Cesar.
Okay, so I was experimenting with what places will work best with my schedule, what places will draw most people. So the first few weeks I was going from, I started at one park, which was okay, but it was a little far. And then I went to another park and I got booted out by this big Hawaiian guy who was like, hey, son, you got a permit over here. I got the permit. I'm setting up. And in the middle of my workout now, I was trying to tell this guy, all right. So I only got 10 minutes left. We'll be gone, and we'll be gone right after this. And he was kind of approaching me mean and territorial, like. So that was like that was probably the worst experience I've ever had with that park. So I went over to the park that I had always gone to, which was the community park down the road. And I just started inviting my friends there, and that's where it grew. And I figured out that I called the Parks and Recreation people, and they were like, "Oh, we can't give you a permit because you're technically not supposed to be doing this. Mm-hmm. But if you show up, it's just your friends. I can't tell you you can't work out here. You know what I mean? It's a park." So I figured a way that, look, I don't mind giving away my workouts for free, because what I really want to do is just share the lifestyle, share fitness, share my supplements, and get the experience.
Wonderful. I just want to add a couple of things here, because I have had a little bit of experience as well with teaching classes outside of the gym and with parks. For any of you who are looking to teach in parks, he's right. So you do need to check with the permits, and parks and whoever heads up your parks and permit department, check with them and ask what they need, if it is even possible. In Hawaii, I think on Maui it's not possible at all. On Oahu you can do it, but at Ala Moana, there's one section at Ala Moana that's free territory for anybody, and it's a first come first serve kind of thing. You have to be there first, and then you can use it. It's open to anyone. Other than that, you would need a permit, and just like he said, it's not really allowed to have exchange of transactions on there, or to have like you would need to get a permit every single time that you taught, which is, for me, it was a pain in the butt. We were doing it once a month, and I would have to go down and get stand in this long line. You know how those lines are. And get the permit. So, and it has to be done like, I don't even know, like 30 days in advance or something. There's some, so find out all those rules, figure out if you want to do it at a park, you've got to go through Parks and Permit, figure out what they need. The other thing is there's other places. So for those of us who live in Oregon, obviously parks aren't going to work year round, right? So there are other places you can go to. So for example, I have taught at community rec centers. I've taught at churches. You can go to, some ideas would be like a dojo or martial arts studio. I have a friend who started at a gymnastics center. So all of the moms that were dropping their kids off to go to gymnastics classes, there was a little space in that gymnastics studio where she would take the moms and have them, she would do a class with them. You can go to a dance center. Anybody who, teaches dance, they're willing to rent their rooms out. Sometimes it's, they'll give you rates, but the rates are really pretty reasonable. And you usually need between 4 to 5 people. If you're charging, let's say $5 a person per class, you'll need like 4 to 5 people to kind of cover the rental room. And then anyone you bring in above and beyond that is yours to keep. Some other ideas were like going to a country western hall. So if you're doing country heat, Going to a country western bar is a great place. They have line dancing there already. It's a great complement. I've also taught at CrossFit. So I've taught Insanity at CrossFit and Payo at CrossFit because they're great complements to what CrossFit people are doing. I've also taught at after school programs or even before school. So at my kids' school, they have on Fridays, they have a little dance thing that they've got going on. And so, that's another idea as well, is to just go and talk to your kids' school and see if you can teach a class there. So there's several ideas. You just really, really got to get creative with it. And like Cesar said, he was determined to just find a way to make it happen. You have to have that mentality when you're going into it. You've got to find a way to make it happen because, for example, Parks and Permits is going to say, you're not really supposed to do this, but there's kind of a way you can get around it if you really want to. So for example, transactions may not be able to take place on the park, but then there's also what we call PayPal. So people can PayPal you, online so that you're not actually having those transactions in the park. Does that make sense? There's always sort of ways to get around it that are legal, that keep it legal. Okay, so those are just some ideas for you. Does anyone have questions so far on any of this?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in Hawaii too.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually started my 2 classes in Sanity for the past 2 weeks now. And I just found a spot at the park. I'm doing it for free for now because I'm not really sure about charging people and how legal it is and what do I, all this stuff. So actually I'm up at Makakilo Park, where I just found a little grass area. It's Sunday morning, so there's not really a lot of people up there, and it's really just, I asked 4 friends of mine if they want to join me there. They love it, so I like to continue doing it. Yeah, I don't know how to, but now I guess I have to see about the permits in the park and how my problem is when I charge, like let's say I would charge $5.
Okay.
So if anybody finds out that I'm charging $5, is there anybody that can come and be like, hey, you need to give us some of that? I don't want to do this. And then I miss something and someone comes and says, hey, you got to pay your part to us.
That's what you need to find out. I think that's what you need to just investigate and research a little bit more. And so go and talk to somebody from the parks community. What do you think, Cesar? Do you agree with that, or?
At first, I was charging. I brought like this little box and people would put money inside. And then I was realizing, maybe I should do this donation based because I'm scared that somebody might shut us down. And so I went donation based, and then eventually I just took away that box and now it's free. But I mean, my goals are different than yours, Sammy. It might be, I don't want another job working at a gym. I don't want to depend on that money from the classes that I put on. I'm willing to give something for free so that I can promote my other business, which is online fitness. So.
And I think, Sammy, also, that's a really smart way to say it, is that it's donation based. And you can also put up a sign that says suggested donation of $5, so that people, it's not a requirement, but it's an implied sort of requirement that they pay. And it's just a way of asking them to pay. But if somebody were to come around, because it's donation based, then, you're not requiring that people pay you. We actually did that at a school, and it was the same exact thing. When we had a Super Saturday, we weren't allowed to charge people for the Super Saturday because it was at a school and the school is nonprofit. And so they just said, put up a suggested donation, and that's what we did. And that's, when people pay. So, all right, let's move on. Anybody else have any other questions really quick about locations and how to get a location or any of that kind of stuff?
Can I just make up a point?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's really what brand is really good at these things is Zumba. Zumba is everywhere. They're in all of these community centers. They're in cafeterias. They figured out a way to get everywhere, to be accessible. I think it's no different.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right on that. That's what I was going to say as well with Zumba. They're charging, from what I've seen, it's $50 per hour to rent out the room. And some schools will require that you hire a custodian as well on top of that. But if you're bringing in, a multitude of people, and then decide how much you want to charge. If you're charging $10 a class, then, you'll quickly make your money back. So just find out how much it costs to rent the places out, and then go after it. But you're totally right on that. All right. So let's talk about some other things. So Cesar, what do you need to begin a live class, for example? So we talked about the permit already. What are some other things that you have acquired to help your classes be successful?
These Beachbody live classes are so simple. All you need is something to amplify your music. When I first started out, I didn't even have a mic. I don't even use a mic right now. I've tried using a mic and it works, but somehow I guess I can project my voice enough where everyone's still having a good experience. But so a block rocker, the one that you see at Costco, it's just a black box cube, $140, and it works well outside. You can charge it at home, take it outside, and then Bluetooth connect your device or use an auxiliary cord. So that's really simple. I've also considered using as far as marketing, I don't really use flyers. Everything's word of mouth and through social media. And I'm always concerned about class experience. So it's kind of like when people come into your house, you want to make them feel welcomed. You want to make them want to come back. It's the same way. So when I step into like a group fitness workout at the gym, I don't really feel that. It depends on what instructors teach. I don't feel that connection. And my whole goal is to get that connection or memorize everyone's names. So what I'll do is I'll announce the classes starting at 8:00, but the workout doesn't actually start until 8:15. And that'll let me allow 15 minutes to network, to get to know everyone's names, to get to know their fitness backgrounds, and to do my announcements. I always have announcements about upcoming online fitness challenges and supplements and other promotions. And then because I know their name, I'm able to engage with them during the workout. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to memorize everyone's name, so I'll focus on one or two names, and I'll pick on those people for the day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Those are awesome tips. I love how you said you come 15 minutes early to network with your group. That's so important, and to provide that overall class experience for them so that they feel welcome. And that's one of the reasons why I think you have been so successful in building this, is because you're really providing community for them. It's not just a class, it's a full-on experience, and you bring them in with your overall brand and who you are, and helping them get to know one another, and that just builds retention and it builds culture and community. So I think you've done a really, really great job with that. So congrats. But that's, yeah, with the music, he's right. You really don't need hardly anything. I've taught classes also. You know those little UE booms? I have one of those that I just carry in my backpack, and it's Bluetooth accessible, and then you put the phone, snap it on, it's all good, and you're just good to go. Again, I've never used a mic in the park, maybe yoga mats, but that's even, honestly, like, they're kind of funky on the grass because they get all wonky and wobbly. So I'll just bring a towel if we're doing Payo or a really old outdoor mat. Let's see, Cesar, you also created a banner, didn't you?
Banners are super easy to make. I use Vistaprint, and when they have their deals, it's like $40 a banner. Huge 10-foot long 10 foot by 2 banner, and you can put anything you want on it. And I only put it up during the class, just to provide some branding. It's not even there for marketing. It's just there to provide that atmosphere.
Cool. And then the last couple of things we'll talk about in this section, you'll need to have fitness insurance. Cesar, you have fitness insurance through, who do you use?
I'm not sure what the company is. What is that? I think it's the same one as yours.
K&K?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
K&K, and then I also heard that Beachbody has one for Fit Club.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's what I use. I think it's the same one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. K&K? KK?
Yeah.
And then let's see what else. And then waivers. Do you have people sign waivers, or how do you do that?
So I have two sign-in sheets at the door. I keep on a clipboard. One sign-in sheet is for the fitness waiver for the newbies. It's provided by the Beachbody coaches. So if you're a Beachbody coach, it's in your online office. I just use that. If you're not, what would you recommend, Jenny?
I would recommend getting one. Well, no, let's see. Well, if they're not, they can reach out to me, and I think I have one somewhere, that somebody's given to me somewhere. I could dig it up.
Yeah. It's basically legalese that says that you're not liable for any injury.
You know where you can get, if you are ACE or AFA certified, they have waivers. And so, we've got 10 minutes. They have waivers. And so you can get it through them. And if not, I would just Google it, or again, contact one of us, and we can kind of point you in the right direction. Do you guys have any questions on that?
I have a question on the banner. Do we have to go through compliance and show them it before we can print it out?
I like to bypass compliance. If you find a company that won't require you to go through compliance, that's what I would do. But obviously, I'm not doing anything funky with the logos. Or actually, Vistaprint is a partner with Beachbody. So they might give you a promotion. So I would check that out. But yeah, I think so. Compliance is really concerned about how you alter the logos, how you place the logos, things like that.
Would you share your banner with us?
Yeah, I can post it up.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, they just don't want any alterations to the logo. So if you're using the original logo, and as Beachbody Live instructors, you have that's what your license, you're able to use the logo. So as long as you're just pulling it from using that logo and not altering it in any way, or not saying like lose 20 pounds in 3 days or anything like that that's falsifying it, then it's fine. That's really what compliance is wanting to do, is just make sure that it's in its original context. And if that's what you're doing, then you're going to be fine.
So how long do waivers last per person? I only give the waivers to first timers, and then once they sign it, I keep it in my files. I also have a sign-up sheet, so everybody signs in. They provide their name, email, phone number, who invited them, and if they have Facebook. That lets me keep in touch with everyone. And I also make a Facebook group page. So if if there's any changes in class schedules or cancellations, or just to keep the relationship building going, I use the group page, the private group page, to do it.
Awesome. So Cesar, talk about just one more question I have for you. When did you start? How many years ago? How often do you have classes? And what were I said one question, look at me, I'm like firing away 12. And how many people did you have when you started? And how many do you have now? And what brands do you teach?
All right, so check it out. I got certified in 2013. My classes started on the very next January. I had networked with a couple of other instructors in my Insanity certification. And it was just a learning process. Started out with just supportive family members. Maybe about 8 people showed up that day. Just mom, brother, sister, cousin. And then I blasted it on social media. I made sure everybody knew that I started a class, and it grew from there. So 2 years later, it's almost 3 years now this coming January. I think we get consistently over 20 people, 40 people sometimes.
Great.
I don't use Facebook ads. It's just word of mouth. And then I've also created a brand, okay, so going back, started out with Insanity, and then as I got certified, my members, I always blasted Jenny's classes to my members, offering them a way to get certified, and my members became certified, and then some of my members even went on to creating their own groups. I have 3 maybe in 3 different communities. Some of them are getting paid, and I'll even collaborate with them. I'll drop in and help. So started out with Insanity. As my members got certified, I had to add other classes to the schedule. So now we do 1 workout a week, different workouts each time. We'll rotate. Depending on what my class members like the best, I put that out. So you'll see Insanity twice a month. Also do Pyo and Size.
Awesome. Love it. All right, guys, we're almost out of time. So I want to open up to you all and see if you guys have any questions for Cesar or myself, and let us know how we can help. Does anybody have questions?
It's relationship building, you guys.
Yeah, it really, yeah. I think
here in New Jersey, we can't do parks and recreation at all. Everything's only in gym, and you cannot talk about Beachbody in the gym if you are a coach.
Same here.
Same here.
Very, very different. But I'm having the delay on getting Country Heat in, even though they told me it would be starting, is having paperwork and documentation on it. And it's very corporate. They want a lot of, I don't know if that makes sense. They want like a whole binder of information on it.
So Tracy.
Oh, go ahead, Cesar.
I was just going to say something might not. You can choose who you want to work with. So if you want to work with them, some people will require some stipulations. I went to a 24-hour audition, and they didn't. Well, let me put it this way: I can work at any gym I want. I don't want to do it because they won't let me talk about Beachbody. You get to choose who you work with. But anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. And the other thing I want to say about that too, let's say that 100% agree. There are many places, and even though we are auditioning for them, they're also auditioning for us. We're also interviewing them. So if it's not a match, that's okay. It doesn't have to be a match. However, if you're looking for additional documentation, are you on Pro Team?
Yes.
Okay, there's a lot of marketing material in there, and I would just download a lot of those flyers and class descriptions, and because that might be what they're looking for. You can also grab a video online. What is Country Heat? There's a class video, and it'll explain exactly what it is. I would send that to them in an email, in a professional email. The other thing is, none of us really are able to talk about Beachbody in the gyms. And that's okay. There are ways to get around it. So what you're doing is you're building relationships first and foremost. If you're looking to, bring people into your Team Beachbody business, build relationships with them, find them on Facebook, and bring them. That's your office. Your office is on social media. And so your office is outside of the gym, and that's where you continue those relationships. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We loved having you on the call. Thank you all so much for being here today. If you have any additional questions, please let us know. Just fire them away in the group, and we'll be happy to do these on a regular basis. And we'd love to just kind of continue to mentor you, but let us know how we can help you as well. Big thanks to Cesar for being on as well. Thank you so much, Cesar. And thanks for all of you for jumping on and spending your time with us. You guys have a great day.
Thank you for doing it. That was great, Cesar.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks. Take care.